Hello, hello, hello. Hey, everyone. How are you doing? How's everybody's Thursday? Hope everybody's having a good week so far. Let me turn on some background music. I hate dead air. I hate it. I despise it. So let's put on some background music. Here we go. Get some stuff going. How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a good week. We should have a couple of people coming in. My headphones are completely screwed here. Let's see. All right. There we go. Hello, South Texas Shark. Good to see you. Team Airrick member. Victor, Team Airrick member. Thank you so much. Looks like one of our guests have arrived. Oh, as always, loud and abrasive. Are you having dinner or something?
No, I got the hiccups.
What? The hiccups?
I got the hiccups.
What happened to the clapping of the hands when you say "We are alive"? We are alive. That one. Is that the one? I don't know. I have no clue. I have a bunch of tabs open. I don't know how much we'll get to tonight, but we'll see. So we're going to be going over this DC news. Is it real? Is it fake? About DC being sold. Warner Brothers, I should say. We'll talk about the Kang recast, maybe the changing of the name of the Avengers movie. A bunch of other small stories. We got some James Gunn news. Maybe the Superman logo has been leaked. We'll see. A few other things, and we'll talk about Avatar. I would say no spoilers, but I mean pretty much the series is pretty close to the show. So if you've seen the first season of the show, you pretty much know just about everything with the live action series. So how did you get the hiccups?
I think I was chugging water and I think I went down a bit weird.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so we have a bunch of stuff to talk about tonight. We're also going to watch that Stephen Amell video again. I made a video on it the other day, but we'll watch it here because I know a lot of people wanted to chime in on the live stream. Paige, you didn't do a video about it though. You avoided it, so we're going to put you on the spot, so you have to respond to it here.
It's just the one where everyone once again blew everything out of proportion, didn't actually listen.
Yeah, but I want to hear your opinion on it because you were the voice of reason.
And everyone's yeah. Is this the classic case of nuance? What is that?
I don't know. We'll see.
Hello, knock. Oh, everyone's dumb.
We'll see. So we are going to talk about Avatar in detail, but Paige, have you watched it? I know you said we talked earlier and you were like, no, you're not going to watch it.
I watched the first episode yesterday. Well, last night. Because my sister really likes Avatar. And she was like,
so I'm going to put some chapstick on.
So she was like, oh, the Avatar's on Netflix. And I was like, oh, yeah. And she said, yeah, we're watching it. I thought, I might watch the first episode then.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me, I remember like especially the first season of the show and some of the stuff that happens there, but it's just so dead.
We're on episode 6. I know there's 8.
Does it get heartbeat by that point? Because it's just so dead.
I will say that the uncle character is probably the best character in the show.
He's the best part of episode 1. He actually feels like a character. He actually feels like Sokka.
Yeah.
He's probably the best character in episode 1 because he's got more screen time than Uncle Iroh.
Well, you know what? Let's since we're already talking about it, we'll go ahead and get into it. I want to put the Rotten Tomatoes.
Way I want to pronounce it.
We'll talk about this first, get it out of the way. So, I don't like to use this, but I feel like it's a good way to sort of get into the conversation, and that is the Rotten Tomatoes. Now, this has been up and down a little bit here, but right now it's at 60%, not certified fresh, but 60%, 76% fan reception. Which, to be fair, this isn't bad. Like that's not
to be honest. I think the fan receptions. That's pretty crazy. I thought it would be way higher.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's that low because people just simp over this shit. Like that, I'm surprised it's not like 90s.
But I was saying
then again, I guess I'm guessing there must have been like something that's changed and people blew up about it and then maybe that's the one reason they really hated if they were, I don't know.
Cody with a maybe hot take. Book One Water is actually the worst season. Well, there you go. So it's 60%, 76%, and they said that the writing room was already working on season 2, or they had been working on season 2 already, but it hasn't been greenlit yet. And I said on Twitter, I guess quite controversially, that like internet hate isn't going to matter. They're going to look at the numbers to see.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I feel like the show being good should be the main concern rather than anything involving.
I agree, but I don't think they would care about that, because we got to remember the arguing on the internet isn't the majority of people that are watching the show, right? I don't think that's.
Oh no, I feel like
the majority of people watching the show.
If you get to 5%.
There's going to be a lot of casual people that probably never cartoons that are going to watch the show.
Well, yeah, because it's a new Netflix show and it'll be advertised like hell on the front page.
So I think as long as it stays around this range on Rotten Tomatoes and the numbers are good for viewing, I don't think it matters how many people.
But to be honest, Eric, the exact same thing you're saying there, like the casual people that probably haven't watched the show probably don't log into Rotten Tomatoes to see what the latest series has score-wise. They base it off what's just on the Netflix thing, what's been recommended to them.
No, exactly. But I'm saying, like, I don't think Netflix is going to look at Twitter and go,
oh no, Netflix would be looking at
12586 with a an avatar profile picture doesn't like the series, so we need to cancel it. I don't think that's going to.
Oh no, they're not going to care about that. They're going to care about like people watching it and stuff. And I'm sure there'll be. It's probably more like even like the rewatch value, because I mean, the one thing I hear is that people rewatch the animated show like over and over and over again.
Well, so here's the thing:
the live action one.
There's a lot of shows that are massively popular that nobody talks about on the internet. There's a lot like reality shows and stuff. People do talk about them, but not the way they talk about like Star Wars and Star Trek and stuff like that. You don't run into stuff like that. Like major magazines, like say for example, Big Brother was out, right? Massive show, massive viewership, tons of stuff going on with it, like feeds on the website, just stuff everywhere, right? But like the vast majority of fandom doesn't get online and argue the way they do about other stuff. So that's why I say the vast majority of people that argue and complain exist in a small pocket online. So
yeah. And Fetman with the trending, I think that's like a 24-hour turnaround. So it's something you won't be in the trending within like the first couple of hours you're up. I think it's a 24-hour turnaround.
Yeah, that
happens a lot. Not all the time, but like consistently. That's always the case. So
yeah, I see a lot of anime fans who aren't familiar with Avatar thinking it's a new anime. I mean, here's the deal: Netflix is locked in with this Avatar stuff because they went to a lot of trouble to get it made. Not just this, but like the animation stuff as well. So I don't think that this not being great is going to affect the overall thing, because we have 3 movies coming up. I believe there's a Kyoshi movie, there's a Korra movie, and then there's a movie based on Aang and Katara and Sokka in their like early 30s or something. All of those animated things are going to come out, and they're most likely going to be pretty good. So if people don't like the live action stuff, they don't like it. I have a feeling the animated stuff is probably going to be more.
I don't know if Pagstradamus is coming back through the door and he's knocking and saying, Eric, he was right. But remember when I brought up just remaking a show into live action and what good it brings, and how the negative could way outweigh the good. Would you be willing to say that Pagstradamus was correct, or is it another way to wait and see?
I mean, right now, if we're going, the only metric we really have is like Rotten Tomatoes. It doesn't seem like people hate it. Like, you know what I mean? It seems like people are okay with it, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if it gets canceled. You know what I mean?
I just felt like it was sort of pointless remaking a show into live action. That's just, you can go watch the animated show, because it's different than reading a book. It's different than reading a book. Like, this is like something that was already made into a show, and then you're just remaking it into live action and almost telling the same story. But from what as I said, I've only watched episode 1. But from one thing I read is that they removed all the side. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so far I'm 6 episodes in. There's a lot of the little I don't know if you call them bottle stories, but side adventure stories are gone.
And those are the character building episodes. So when you take those out, you end up with not necessarily bland
wait a minute,
characters because
Paige,
the
wait,
actor can.
are you saying that like bottle episodes help build character? So they build
Well, not
into
bottle
characters.
episodes. A bottle episode is different than a filler episode. Do you mean filler episode, not bottle episode?
No. I mean anything, any other side content with characters.
Because like
filler,
a
bottle,
relevant episode to this, a relevant episode to the story can be bottle. But just from what I've heard, they're taking out all the filler stuff.
Non long form story episodes, so things that are outside adventures from the main story of the season. I think always does growth for characters. Like we complain about them a lot. So a good example, not to go back to the Flash, but we'll go back to the Flash, is characters like Allegra and Chester. Part of the reason that we didn't really like them, or a lot of people didn't like them, is we didn't know a lot about them. They didn't spend a lot of time with those characters. We get like one episode a season that might include them as like the lead of the episode. As much as we grumbled and groaned about them, the reality is you kind of need those episodes to flesh characters out, and when they're not there, you lose out on some of that stuff. And I think in this show, if you're coming into this show without the animated stuff, you're going to be losing out on some of those moments that the characters get in the side stories.
Yeah, so I don't know if they went in with the thing, oh, well, the people that are going to watch the show are the people that watch the animated show, but it's like, you might be lucky if it's like 10, 15% of the viewing base is people that watch the show, or at least have, like, when the show came out like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, people forget what happens, so you sort of have to still, and like, forget what the characters are like if they haven't revisited, if you like were watching it when it first came out, or, you know, around that time. I don't know.
And again, I am 6 episodes in, and I can say here are my overall opinions of the show so far without finishing it. Is I think that the visual effects are fine. Some of them look really good, some of them are just okay, but overall I think they're fine. There's nothing that really stands out as bad. I think it's all pretty cool. I think most of the casting is spot on. I think that Sokka is definitely like, I mean, pretty much lifted from the animation. Aang looks like Aang. Iroh looks like Ira. I think the biggest differences in casting would probably be Azula and Zuko. They kind of don't look like the animated versions, which is fine. I think in terms of like acting, I think everybody is just kind of in the middle, except for like a couple of people. And I think clearly Paul, who plays Iroh, is the best so far. You know, 6 episodes in, is like the best actor in the show. I think removing Sokka's story, where he kind of comes around from being sort of like a stupid, you know, toxic dude, to being like a really thoughtful, you know, kind, well, I don't know, emotionally formed character. I know some people were like, oh, it's okay because it was so bad, you know, in the animated, it was really a lot. And I don't think they had to include all of that, but they kind of took it out completely. And I think that was a mistake, because I kind of like that he started out. Let's go back to the Flash. Ralph Dibny is the character. In the beginning, supposed to be kind of a rough around the edges, unlikable character, and then, you know, we get him for a couple seasons, and all of a sudden he's like a fan favorite because we saw growth. We saw him go from being kind of an asshole, self-centered character to being something more than that. And I think it's okay to tell those stories. I don't know why they decided to take it out of the show. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think the show was like, it's fine. It's like watchable from what I can tell in the first episode. And you got to remember, like, a lot of times with Netflix shows, people only give it the first episode, maybe the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you mean. Like, the visuals look fine, but it also feels like it just looks like they're in front of a green screen, or the volume, the entire episode.
Now, how much of this was, do we know how much of this was filmed inside of
I think the entire thing is filmed in, like,
was it? Okay.
In studio. I know they filmed it in Vancouver.
Some of the stuff in the Earth's Kingdom City or whatever looked like it was practical, but maybe I'm wrong.
Is that in a later episode? Or is that the one from the
episode 3 or 4, I think, is when
okay.
So
maybe. Well, maybe like, yeah, because it was in like a forest or something, then maybe they would have
it's inside of it's in the Earth Kingdom. It's like buildings, and it's like a city, a proper city. So
I'm not too sure. I'd have to watch it, but everything from the first episode just looked, I mean, like, but yeah, it goes back to the thing I was saying. Like, I knew there'd be like, it was always going to be judged harder because you already have literally what they're adapting it from, essentially season by season. So I'm not surprised that, as I said, the thing that surprised me the most is probably that audience rating, just because people shill usually. So I'm surprised it's not a bit higher. I even from the first episode, I am like calling massive cap on the people saying that the M. Night Shyamalan movie is better than this, because that
movie is awful. Like yeah, that movie was awful. It doesn't look. It looks better than that movie. That movie had other issues outside of the visual effects, but there's a lot of stuff in this that looks very animated. I think some of the fighting scenes and stuff as we go through the series look like the animated stuff, because I don't think they're trying to make it feel different. I think they're trying to make it feel similar. But then that goes back to what you were saying, is if you're going to just do it the same, then why do it at all? Doing it?
Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you? I guess they're doing that animated thing where it's like a continuation or something like that. And like, that's probably the best way to go about it, because at least it's something original. But then again, it maybe goes to the thing where people are more likely to watch it in live action, and at the same time, the people that already watched the animated one, plus more that are completely new, are going to tune into this. So
can you imagine the people that are going to watch this season and go, oh, I really like this, but there's like 4 seasons of it animated, so I'm going to go back and watch the 4 seasons. So they're going to go back and realize that the animated one is better than the live action one. Are they going to come back and watch the season 2? That's
I don't know. It probably just depends how much time you have.
Because think about this: if you're watching this live action and you really like it, right? You have so much Avatar content between this and Korra to watch. Why would you wait for the live action season 2 exclusively? You know what I mean? Like, you might go, hey, I'm going to go watch the animated one because I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
So you're going to get spoiled. There's going to be no surprises. This is one of those times where maybe it would have been okay to deviate a little bit from the original story. Or, a lot of people said, why not tell the story of another Avatar? Like, pick a different one that we don't know, like one of the other ones in the past, and tell a season about them, which maybe that would have been the right thing to do. I don't know. I don't find it offensively bad, but I also don't think it's better than the cartoon. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's okay. I don't think there's anything awful about it so far. Again, I have a couple episodes left, but I just don't think it's as good as the animated cartoon. So there we go. But I will say this, it's not necessarily a waste of time. Like, if you're somebody that wants to see it, and if you're looking for my recommendation, I would say you can give it a shot. See what you think. At least watch the first episode. I think watching the first episode will give you a good idea of like whether or not you're going to like the whole series, to be honest. So yeah, absolutely. Omega, 100%. One Piece was actually really based. That series was an anomaly. I don't know how to explain it. That one was just really, really good. I think that the One Piece live action was just as good as the animated series. In a lot of ways, I think it was better. So Fetman says, thoughts on how they handled the air nomad genocide. It felt kind of too plot convenient with all the airbenders coming from other temples to the southern one. I think there's a lot of things you're going to see in the live action version that feels contrived because they need to make up for not having as many episodes. So a lot of the long form plots have to be condensed, and it's not always going to make sense. There's other questions I had watching it where I was like, and I don't want to mention too many changes here in case people are going to watch it, but there's a couple things that happen where I'm like, okay, they probably could have done that differently. But there we have it. All right, let's talk about this this Warner Brothers news. So this was
quickly before you get into that.
Mm-hmm.
I have some news, Eric.
Yeah, what is it?
Firstly, you smell. Second, cool. I watched The Marvels 2 nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
I sat down, turned it on, and wasted 100 minutes of my life.
You don't like it?
It's just mid. But at the same time, I do not understand why people are blowing up about it so much. It's just fucking mid.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like,
it's just, exactly. I forgot about it as soon as I finished watching it. It was just mid, not that great. Felt like there was a lot of deleted things from the movie because they just skipped scenes randomly.
Clearly, there was a lot of deleted footage from the movie.
It's just mid. I must say, I don't want to say like you just wanted. I know Kamala Khan was getting on my tits for the first like 20 minutes. She was pissing me off. The yelling and the screaming. I'm so annoying. But then she came around and stopped yelling and screaming and actually became a half decent character.
I was gonna say she's like
she
a lot of people
annoying
think she's the best character in the movie. So
I don't know. I think the whole movie's just very mid. But I don't know, maybe. But she was pissing me off for the first 20 minutes. I'm like, stop screaming. Because it's like really annoying screaming. Like,
well, that's what I've said. For me, the Marvels is either going to go like mid to better for people. Anything below mid, you're just hating on it because it's not a badly made movie. There's some weird editing choices. Like you said, there's clearly stuff that was taken out of it. But
I think for me it was clear. Like I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's sort of pointless. But it felt like this. Like it just it felt like there was maybe like too many cooks in the kitchen or something with this one.
I still feel like they should have done a proper just Captain Marvel 2.
This didn't need to be a team up movie, and they go out of the like they sort of have to like awkwardly explain what these characters are. Like they just randomly, oh yeah, I walked through a radioactive magnetic field. It's just to mention up to like 2 different characters. I'm like,
well, the thing is though, also. You don't need to know how people have their powers in the Marvel Cinematic.
Yeah, they just have the powers.
They show up and they have powers. Like you don't need to explain it. Like if I saw that movie, right? Well, yeah, if I saw that movie and she had powers and I saw her doing all this stuff, I go, wait, I want to see how she got those powers. I'm going to go back and watch WandaVision to find out. Like,
you watch Miss Marvel and stuff.
Having her just drop them in and tell you is like really weird. Does Black Panther explain his powers to everybody? Does Captain America? Like, it just seems weird that you would have to explain that to multiple people. It felt really stupid to me. That was like hand holding, and I was like, I'm not too into that. So, all right. So we'll talk about this Warner Brothers stuff. So this was reported by Variety. So as of April, Warner Brothers Discovery can entertain offers to buy, sell, or merge any pieces of the studio. And many in the industry believe that's going to happen. And this is the reason why David Zaslav is signing talent like Tom Cruise, Margot Robbie, and Paul Thomas Anderson to beef up the deal, to have other people on the payroll, I guess, before that happens. And this is coming directly from Variety. And it seems like he could sell off pieces if he wanted. Like he could just sell off this studio or this, this series, this IP, whatever. He could basically do anything he wants with these things as of April. And people think that's a possibility. They think he's going to offload some stuff that he's just not confident in. And they think DC might be one of those. What do you think about that? Any thoughts on it?
Can you repeat it?
I know you've seen the news. Why are you making me repeat it? David Zaslav, as of April, can legally sell off bits and pieces of the company. Meaning, he can sell off IPs, he can sell off studios, he can sell off franchises. He can do whatever he wants as of April of this year. And a lot of the studio think he's going to do it. So, do you think that's a possibility? Do you think that's what he's going to do or not?
Yeah, well, maybe, but it also depends. Like, what he's not going to like. If he does sell anything, it's probably going to be things that people don't really care about, and that's just lingering, And it could be something that someone would pay top dollar for because they feel like they could invest the money and stuff like that and produce something from it, whether it is an IP or whether it is like a specific branch of the Warner Brothers tree, whatever it might be. So
you don't think that like DC's up on the chopping block, basically?
No, because they've just invested in the James Gunn thing. Like I mean, if they hadn't hired him, then no, even then, no. There's too much money that can be made through different distribution avenues. But I don't know, maybe like a news thing, like one of the news outlets, or maybe even some of the reality crap, like some of the stuff.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head from Warner Brothers, like an IP that he could sell off that would be worth it to get rid of. But I mean, it could be weird. He could start selling off like major things because they're saying like Tom Cruise, Margot Robbie, all these other things. He could actually just sell the whole company if he wanted. Like,
I think that's the most likely thing. I think he's gonna sell it and then merge it with something else, but that other company potentially becomes the like the overarching one, whether it is Universal or something.
They're gonna like approve that, because that's another Discovery merging with Warner Brothers was a big deal. They could gobble up another company. That would be even bigger. That would be a problem, I would think. Right? Who is he going to court around that doesn't have similar programming? Because that's really what they're going to look at. They're going to look at how similar the two companies are. Because like if you wanted to merge with like Hershey chocolate, right? Say Hershey's chocolate wanted to buy them, they probably would approve it because neither one of them compete in the same market. It doesn't matter. But if he wants to merge with like Universal or Paramount or something, that's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing to watch. That's for sure, because the thing is, Warner Brothers already has ties with Universal. Like Universal distributes Warner Brothers movies in international spaces. Like in Australia, if you go watch a Warner Brothers movie, like let's say you go see Dune in a week, it'll have the Universal thing, like the da, 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 whatever it is, like the Universal thing logo comes up, and then the Warner Brothers one, and it confuses the fuck out of people, especially if they know they're watching a Warner Brothers movie, because like why is they think they're in the wrong theater,
right?
Down here, and then the Warner Brothers logo starts, and it's like, oh, it's because Universal distributes it internationally. I think it's like almost. I know it's in Australia. I don't know where else it is, but it's in other countries as well. So there's already a connection there. So I guess the door's already creaked open a bit. But I don't know. It's hard because you saw what happened with the Fox thing. And I think if the courts could go back, they wouldn't have allowed the Fox merger to happen with Disney, because it's pretty much killed a bunch of movies coming out every year, especially like the smaller range budget ones, like the Searchlight ones.
Yeah, because now Disney doesn't want to release a Fox movie the same time they're releasing a Disney movie.
They released like, I don't even know how many Searchlight pictures come out. It's just Searchlight pictures now. It used to be Fox Searchlight, and they used to be like not the art house one, but like the smaller range ones. But now they've just killed a bunch of those movies coming out in regards to the numbers. So yeah, they probably look at the Fox Disney merger and go, yeah, we probably shouldn't have allowed that. And they probably look. I don't know. It just depends if there's like enough risk there. Like, would they cancel any movies, or projects, or would it increase the amount of projects coming out? Would Universal take advantage of that IP? Because like Universal's IP is like what, Jurassic World.
That's a big one for them.
Fast and the Furious. You know, and then maybe filmmakers, because the thing is like Nolan, I think, would cut off his left thumb if he was allowed to go back and work at Warner Brothers. But he's like, I think he has a deal with Universal at the moment. He has to see out the deal. I think he does. I don't know. I think it's him.
It's a weird thing because we covered this almost over a year ago, I think, when people were saying there was a possibility, in 2024 that they could start looking for buyers. And we talked about this because we were seeing like their plans for what they were doing. And I'll be honest, HBO Max, as far as we're concerned now, there's nothing on that as a streaming service. There's nothing. They have canceled and removed so much stuff from HBO Max. It's almost not even.
Are you kidding me? Girls on the Bus is coming out.
No, it's not enough for us to keep it though.
I thought you were Melissa Benoist stan. Girls on the Bus.
It's not enough, man.
Because that's the thing. All the popular stuff on HBO Max is just the HBO stuff that airs on HBO. It's not HBO. It's not a Max original.
So the next thing that we're looking forward to, or there's only two things we're really looking forward to when it comes to HBO, and that's the House of the Dragon. And I know that some people that come over to watch stuff with us want to see that Harry Potter to see if how good or bad it is.
And even then, that's like
a year away,
3 years away, probably.
Yeah, that's a ways away. So there's really nothing on HBO Max. There's nothing on it. Like
if you watch, like,
we're so close to getting rid of like this. Like that might be the first streaming thing we just say goodbye to. We're really close to getting rid of it,
which is weird because it was like the best one about like 12 to 18 months ago.
Yeah, yep. I there was a time where we were watching 2 to 3 things a week on HBO Max, and last night as we were going through our like apps to find something to watch. I was like, we haven't used HBO Max in forever. Let's see if there's anything on there. And we turned it on, and there's nothing. There's nothing on there.
I'll tell you what is good, but it is an HBO show. Have you watched the new True Detective?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
It's actually pretty. I'm halfway through it. I'll probably finish it. I mean, I don't see myself watching Avatar, finishing it off. I know Avatar might put on the back burner, and I have literally nothing to watch. But that new True Detective's pretty decent.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel so bad because I really enjoyed HBO Max, and then when it changed its name to Max, that's when everything went downhill after that. It was just like everything just dropped off of it. It's almost like they did it on purpose.
Do you mean Max, the home of HBO?
Yes. It's almost like they did it on purpose. It's like they just basically gutted the service. There's nothing. I mean, there was a couple of shows on there that I really liked, and pretty much all of them have been canceled or they ended. Yeah, I can't think of anything I'm watching or looking forward to on that. So we'll see what happens. So Stranger says, you see that Peacock and Paramount are having conversations about merging their services. Yeah, that one makes a little more sense to me, though, because Paramount and Peacock, even though they're both like entertainment services, they have very different types of content. Like Peacock is a lot of like procedural and comedies, whereas Paramount is doing like science fiction and you know, they're doing movies on there now and stuff like that. I could see the two of them merging streaming services into one. By the way, I think that's going to happen a lot. I'm not talking about company mergers, but I see a lot of brands just kind of coming together, because we've said this before. What made Netflix so good back in the day? And chat, you can answer this as well. What made Netflix so good back in the day? The fact that everything was on it. If there was something that was going from TV to streaming, it was going on Netflix. Because Hulu wasn't competing at that level when Netflix was having like its big era. Like if you saw a show leaving TV going to streaming, it was going to Netflix. So we're seeing the consolidation of services, or the conversation about consolidating services, because the bubble is bursting fast. And the streaming networks cannot afford to be around on their own. We don't need everything to have its own streaming service. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. And now there's too many options. People can go, hey, I'll get Peacock next month, and I'll go back to Paramount, you know, or I'll get rid of Paramount and go back to that when something I want comes out on it. And that's not what these services want. They want you to pay for them every month. They don't want you to pay like January, February, then drop it until the fall. They want you to pay the whole time. That's why a lot of them have like 1 year long fee now because of that reason. So, so I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. So yeah, Victor says, yeah, the good days. It was. Those were the best days, man. They were. Another thing we have to talk about. We're gonna get through all this. We'll just do all the Warner Brothers DC news first. Is this stuff with Coyote versus Acme? So I just want to break the news to anybody who's holding out hope for this. This movie's never coming out. They're not selling it. They're not selling it to anybody else. It's gone. It's gone. David Zaslav is... Look, nothing has shamed this man into changing any decision thus far. We thought initially that he had changed his mind about this, but he didn't. It's a dead movie. They're getting rid of it. Tomorrow, supposedly, they're going to make a decision on what they're going to do with it. I don't see any path for this movie to come out on any platforms. They're going to shelve it for a tax write-down. And look, I know I've had this discussion on Twitter with other people. I know that tax write-downs are legal, but the way they're doing it so openly, so the government knows they're doing it because they can, not because the movie is done. The movie is done. These are finished things that have absolutely no reason to be shelved. You know what I mean? Like this is like the fourth or fifth thing that he's done this to. At a certain point, I think they're going to investigate it to see what's going on. Like, why are you doing this? Unless he's got people working for him that can pull some strings. I mean, he's just canceling all of these movies. And I think this is going to be another casualty. I think this is it. I don't think he's going to sell it to anybody else. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, the tax write-off might be more worth it than the sale because it knocks them down the bracket amongst maybe some other things as well. So it's better off selling it like that than taking in more money from it. I don't know. I don't think it's going to stop people from working with it. I mean, that's always a risk. Like, 'cause it's
I
always
would
been a thing in Hollywood.
not
But
like this though, Paige. This is a different level. Like the last couple years with Warner Brothers, we've never seen studios finish something and just cancel it like this. It doesn't happen. Like it's happened to so many projects under David Zaslav.
well,
I can tell you right now, I would never work for him. I would
well, no,
never. As an artist,
the
I would
thing with
never
this
work.
is that this happens like a lot. No, I don't want to say a lot, like every third movie, but it happens. Like it happens consistently every year, but it's always with something that cost maybe 5 million, 10 million to make. And it's usually something that they try and sell at Sundance. So then like, I think who was I listening to? I was listening to someone, they said that they did a movie maybe the year after COVID. Maybe they filmed it and it went to Sundance in 2022. So 2 years ago. It got picked up. I think it might have been by Disney or something. So the Fox department, like the Searchlight thing, it's just sat there. It's still yet to come out. It just sat there. And it's most likely going to get written off and just get thrown away because like the purchase date or something like that. I don't know, there must be some expiration date or something in regards to that when you can write it off. But that I think that movie must have cost like 5 to 10 if it was at Sundance. Wouldn't have cost any more than that. Otherwise, it wouldn't be at Sundance. It would have already been picked up by a studio. The studio would be making it. So it's just, I don't think you see it. You don't see it too often with these big ones. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like we're not
like
talking about people. Yes, 50 to 60.
It's 50 million. Yeah, this one, like that's big, and it doesn't help that like the Batgirl one, which was like what?
Well, not only that, but we're not talking about like people campaigning. You know what I mean? Like this isn't a studio, a small little group of people that made a movie and put it out in a festival. We're talking about a studio production with a lot of really big people attached to it. It's a very weird situation. And somebody was asking about Tony here. Well, I can tell you this: characters like Bugs Bunny and you know a lot of the other bigger Looney Tunes are worth billions of dollars in IP.
Well, if I'm being completely honest, I think if this got released in theaters, I don't think it would have made that much money. But the thing is that there's reports out there saying that like whoever it was it Netflix or whoever it was offering like 80 to 90 million for it, which covers it. There's no production cost or advertising cost. It's literally they're just covering the production cost and maybe some aftermarket stuff. Like the fact it's just been sitting there for a bit and they might have to touch it up a bit or whatever it is. So they'd be making a profit off it. So obviously it is like making profit off it is worse than just being knocked down the tax bracket.
Is, when we're talking about like an animated feature, so this isn't like filming a TV show or something. I feel like they had to understand the risk involved in making this movie, an animated movie that's going to take years to make. If they were going to even greenlight it in the first place, why let them finish the movie and then be like, "Hey, we changed our mind now. This isn't worth it." Like you greenlit it from the beginning. You knew the risk involved with making this movie. They knew how much it was going to cost them. It didn't go over budget. They gave them the budget. They stayed within budget.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing you've highlighted. I think they just need to be smarter with what they're greenlighting. If they're going to like get the cold feet once the product's there, it's like you making dinner.
Well, that's the thing, King of Lesbia, is I think. So here's my theory. We're gonna like cycle back into the sale of the company of Warner Brothers. If David Zaslav's intention is to make Warner Brothers more profitable in the market, this is what he would do. He would trim the fat so that he can make money when he sells the company. So that's why he doesn't care about any of this stuff. He doesn't care about other people working with him because I don't think he even thinks he's going to be there next year. I think that he's trying to trim the fat. He wants to sell the whole fucking thing and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, he's pretty much looking at he's saying like when I go to sell the company, they're going to look at the profit loss statement and it's like, oh, okay, well they made money here, they didn't lose it. Where if they maybe released it or maybe even sold it to someone, shelving it is more financially beneficial to them.
Yeah.
Now, my bigger question is like a lot of the people that have worked on this movie that are still associated with the Warner Brothers are just tight-lipped. Boy.
Yeah.
No one's saying anything. It's weird.
There are people sharing like behind the scenes, like filming.
But there are
of
people
the
that
movie
aren't
and stuff
like
that, but-
contracted to Warner Brothers.
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
stuff.
They're
They're
people that
like-
were just on set with it. They're not people.
or like they might have like done something like they were a camera operator or they were a writer, but they're not like contracted. It's weird. Very weird.
Very strange. So I want to share. This was posted because of the stuff that came out with James Gunn recently about Superman Legacy. This is possibly the style of the logo we're going to get, because there's a lot of rumors that he's doing kind of a Kingdom Come, reverse Kingdom Come take, I guess, where it's like the older characters, but they're all younger, and Superman is watching these vigilante superheroes that work for the government, which would explain like the authority and stuff like that. But they're saying that this is the logo that was used on the table, like the reading at the table they did, I guess it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. What do you think about if they go with like this design here? Are you a fan of this one or not?
I don't mind it. I think it's weird, but I don't mind it. I think it just might be like James Gunn just trying to be different, like not just reuse the same. I think he might be trying to step away from like, you know, not making it, oh, this isn't the Superman, you know, but like in the sense that like it's just, you know, different. Like the suit will look different, the logo will look different, some of the characters will be, you know, the world will be different than what's people are used to, whether it is in comics or animated shows or even like other universes and the previous DCU or the MCU, like how things operate. It's just about the execution. That's the thing. Like I don't love it. Definitely don't love it, but at the same, I don't hate it. Like Defunct, I don't hate it.
Right.
I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
No, this is not the original logo. This is definitely it's definitely geared towards the Kingdom Come design. But it is so different because it is a stylistic like House of L thing, but it's done in a very simplistic way, which is why it looks so different. I don't know how they're gonna go, but so it says here, Darth says, don't forget how much he changed the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Nova Corps, Ego, Star-Lord himself. He changed a lot, really. Yeah, I don't. So my only thing is, or you're going to say, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if you're going to agree with me, but if you went to 100 people on the street before those movies came out and read those names out, you'd be lucky if one person knew who the fuck you were talking about.
Yeah, that's it.
if you go to 100 people on the street and say Superman, if you got like 10 people that don't know who Superman is, you'd be like, what street am I on? Looney Street?
Yeah. All right, so here we go. This is the video from Stephen Amell. He's at a convention. I don't know which one it was at, but it's at one of the many conventions he does now. Keep in mind, he just got cast on that show Suits LA, the spinoff. So he's getting ready to step into a very good paycheck for him because it's going to be a major show, major franchise. Chances are it'll have many seasons. It's anything like Suits. Sometimes those spinoffs go longer than the regular shows. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, in this very short clip, I did a video on this a couple days ago. He has some choice words for, I guess, Warner Brothers and DC. But let's see. Paigey might be the voice of reason for some people because a lot of people are upset with him. So let's see what he has to say.
I see a lot of announcements from about DC and about the DC extended universe and about what they're going to do with the movies.
It's not the extended universe
what I would
anymore.
prefer? Content. Like, I don't think anyone has ever gone to an IMAX to watch a press conference or to like read Twitter. Like, great, awesome. I'm glad you guys have all of these plans. Shut up and go execute them.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on that, Paigey?
You know,
generally,
I mean, the issue is that says Emerald City Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
That's not for another week and a half. So this is a year old.
Right.
So I'm just wondering, did people try and use this in the current context that he?
Well, yeah, that's.
We can said talk it like last weekend or something.
I think he's still talking about the James Gunn stuff, though. He's still talking about.
But then again, I think even if that was the point, if this was last year, that would have been like what? This would have been like shortly after James Gunn's announcement thing. But the thing is, I think even in the current context, he's probably right.
When is the okay? I want to see what the date for that Comic-Con is.
I just looked it up. I clicked off the tab. Ding.
It
It
comes.
was like
It's
something
usually
in March. It was like first week of March or something.
okay.
No,
Yes,
no,
beginning of March. Right. Okay.
yeah, so it's like in a week or something, a week and a half. Or yeah, it'd be next weekend, not this weekend, the weekend after.
Right. Okay. So go on. Finish what you're saying. I just wanted to hear what the date was on it.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering because I was like, everyone's at the Comic Con because usually you hear about that. I think they release Funko Pops and stuff there. But he is right. I mean, when we literally talking about this like a week and a half ago or something, how we've gotten news about Superman Legacy and that is it, and we're a year after that initial announcement.
Well, I
And
mean,
yeah,
some people
there was a
some people are
strike.
joking that we're going to see the entire first season of Daredevil because there's so many leaks and people are reporting on everything. Oh, Charlie Cox sat in the chair the other day. Charlie Cox had lunch at blah blah blah. Like they're doing the same thing with James Gunn. Everything he does
Yeah.
is being
Yeah.
posted online.
Yeah, and to be fair, that's not James Gunn. That's like DC bootlicker news or whatever it is. Like they're the ones constantly talking about it. It's not James. Like James Gunn is posting like, sure, James Gunn interacts with people, but he's also like answering like non-spoiler questions. Really, it's like almost he's answering silly questions that people are asking him.
Yeah.
So it's not really him, but at the same time, we were talking about it like a week and a half ago where. And he references the DCEU there, like Stephen Amell. And we went through this last decade where they made that big announcement, announced all these things, and we saw a lot of them. But for example, like the Flash was in the initial announcement. It was the second last or the third last DCEU movie, and it should have been like in the first 5 or whatever it is. So, you know, he's right. But at the same time, it's just whether you want to accept it. And also, this is out of context as well. I'm assuming that the person that posted this online said it was from this year because that's Emerald City Comic Con.
I don't remember if they said when it was. It just got shared recently. That's all.
Yeah, but obviously people don't research, so they just assume it was probably the day of the video being posted or something like that. I mean, last year is even probably it's more relevant because that's when that schedule or what is it, the slate was announced.
Mm-hmm.
But like as I said, we were talking about a year and a half ago. You know, not a year and a half ago, week and a half ago. I think it was the after party or whatever it was. That we've gotten like no news on like most of these things.
Yeah. I looked up the original slate. Like this is the original DC I guess the cinematic universe or whatever. Some of these things, man, like what the fuck?
No, that's fake. That's fake.
Is that okay? I was gonna say this. I don't remember half of these things being announced.
No, I mean Batgirl, yeah, the Suicides. This seems like some weird. Did someone like trip out?
Some of these are real though. Some of these are real. We got Blue Beetle, Black Adam. Those are all real films.
Yeah, but it seems like did someone like crack out or something like that?
I don't know. This was from the DC like Extended Universe wiki. So
yeah, I don't know. Someone's tripped out.
DC EU original.
It would have been from like what 2016, I think. Because I think they released the Comic Con of Batman v Superman.
Let's see what we got here. Curious. I know y'all are saying it's fake, but it came from the actual DC EU wiki.
Eric, it's fake. You just got to accept when you're wrong.
Yeah. I didn't say it was real. I said this is what I found.
It sounds like you believe it.
Actually, here's one. Let's see if this one's if this is the right one. This one looks a bit more
twerk
real. I don't even know if this is this wasn't the original one either. I mean, it's one of them, but I don't think it's the original one. Let's look at this one here. Hold on, let me see. So this one is let me blow it up a little bit. So we have Man of Steel 2013 with Batman v Superman from 2016.
Am I going to have to do this because you can't do shit?
No, this is the right one. This is the real time.
No, it's the wrong one. Here we go. I found it. It took me 2 seconds. It took me one Google search.
These are all things that came out except for the last 3.
Eric,
this is the timeline. This is the real timeline. Are you telling me these movies are incorrect? This is right. 2013
Eric.
Man of Steel, 2016 BVS, 2016 Suicide Squad, 2017 Wonder Woman, 2017 Justice League, 2018 Aquaman. These are right.
This was the original slate. I'm about to put it up on screen.
Are you talking
need
about the
help.
one with like all the weird movies? I was trying to find the
need-
one with the actual timeline.
You need your hand held through everything. Young DJ Erickson the third.
That's literally the one that I just posted.
No, it wasn't. You posted one that went like horizontally. This is a vertical list.
So you didn't like it because it was a different way?
No, that is the list. That is the original list. That's the
I
original
wasn't
slate from
looking
back
for
in
this one. This isn't the actual one that I was looking for, but we'll look at this one.
Okay, now you're changing
I was looking.
the story.
No, I was looking for the one with the films that we got, the OG like films, like from.
Yeah, but that's
Man
not
of
the OG
Steel.
ones. Those are just the ones we got. These are the OG films. This is the OG slate.
Yeah, but this is the one with a bunch of stuff like the Untitled. Like we don't know what those were.
I think we
Was it-
do. Apartment 4.
Do we?
I don't know.
And
Do
plus,
we?
this stops at 20. See, this one stops at 2020. Anyway,
Yeah, because that's when COVID happened.
right. So
It predicted COVID.
did it? Is that what it was?
Well, I don't know. It's up to you.
So what I was trying to figure out is when he was talking about like releasing content or whatever, we had a good like regular like Man of Steel was the biggest break for them because that was the first one, and then they took like 3 years to make anything else. And they decided to build on it with BVS, which I think was a mistake. Then we had Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League Part 1, which just ended up being one movie. Flash obviously did not happen in 2018. Aquaman did. What would have been the untitled film?
It might have been something like maybe like I don't know.
I don't know what that would have been.
Oh.
Young Justice movie. I don't know.
Probably a Batman movie.
Oh, maybe. And then Shazam and Justice League Part 2. What did we get in place of quote unquote Justice League Part 2? Was there anything else that came out? Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey came out shortly.
No,
after.
Birds of Prey came out in 2020.
Yeah, but it was
So we got
after Shazam, right?
What was the other movie that came out in 2019? Shazam came out at the beginning.
That's the only one.
Is that the only DC? Oh, Joker came out in 2019.
Yeah, Joker, but not a DCEU movie. But
Yeah. Well, that one says untitled DC film, not DCEU film.
maybe. We know why Cyborg didn't come out. That's pretty
Your
clear.
mate. Your
Green
best
Lantern.
mate in the world.
Green Lantern is a cursed property. I swear it's a cursed property. I swear
It's
it is.
hard though. Like I don't. That's the only thing like that I think is a nail that like has been nailed so far in the DC. Like what James Gunn is doing, that he's done the introduction to the Green Lantern stuff in TV. Though it's probably going to be like a fucking like 8-episode series, so who knows how much they'll do. But Green Lantern's got too much lore around it. You know, I actually rewatched the 2011 Green Lantern movie not too long ago, about 3 weeks ago or something. It was the extended edition, which is better. I think if that movie came out now, people would eat it up.
You think so?
It's got like, I don't necessarily like the villain Parallax, but a lot of it is fine. Lands is 10 episodes. Malcorp hasn't even fucking started being made.
So the reason why I was pulling this list up is because we could see the ones that were written off or that didn't happen. And like Batgirl obviously vanished into the ether. The Black Canary thing, why do you think they decided not to do that? Because that didn't even start filming.
I think that's just the change of the ownership, change of leadership. I think that's
Same thing with the
simply
Green
it.
Lantern HBO Max series. That's DOA. That's never coming out.
Which is fucked. They wrote the entire show.
Yeah.
The entire show is done. There's literally an entire show of scripts and stuff completely done. And that just had to be thrown away. I mean, they got paid, obviously, but that's crazy.
I was just thinking, you realize that none of the DC movies got a third film? The only ones that got sequels were Shazam, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman.
Yeah.
And we got 2 different Suicide Squad movies. Which, how that happened, I don't know.
I mean,
I have
we got
no
2
idea.
Shazam movies.
Yeah, but Suicide Squad was like a soft reboot. That's why that was so
Yeah,
weird.
but
Let's see here. All right. Close out the Stephen Amell thing. Here's something interesting. Speaking of the Joker. What do you think about this? Joker 2 has a $200 million budget.
I didn't say that. That's insane.
Yeah, Variety says it's got a $200 million budget. Apparently, Joaquin's getting $20 million and Lady Gaga is getting like $13 million or something. They say here the first movie only cost $60. So $200 million budget on a Joker movie with probably very minor visual effects. Where is that money going?
I'm assuming that they use larger set pieces in New York. It's just expensive to film there. But that again, $200 million.
$200 million
the first one
is
New York.
crazy land. We're going from 60 to 200.
That is crazy. Yeah.
I don't know. And this was a risky film because they say it's like a part musical-ish movie, which people may not like that. Do you think they just really believe in this? Do you think they're super confident in it? Is that what it is?
I don't know. I said when we talked about this before, I think it's either going to be, really fun and good, or it's going to be fucking ass. And I mean, I'm still looking forward to it. Mainly out of curiosity. I mean, I like the first Joker film. I don't love it. I think the script's not very good, but yeah, I don't know. The musical aspect is interesting as well because I heard someone, who was it? I don't know if it was Todd Phillips saying it or if it was Lady Gaga saying, it's not a musical, but it's got musical aspects. And like, well, that's just a musical.
Yeah.
Like a musical doesn't mean you're singing all the time. It just means you.
If you have more than one scene where characters are breaking out and singing within their world, that's a musical to me.
Yeah. And like it's used as like a part of like the dialogue and story structure, like the musical aspect.
We've talked about like one of the biggest problems with modern movies when it comes to films is these inflated budgets, right? We always go, the 250 million movies are like, should be the big group films like the Avengers movies or Justice League or whatever. Individual movies should not be like 250 million. So I don't see any world where it costs them 200 million to make a Joker sequel. That seems extremely inflated. In my mind, I'm just trying to do the math on where that money could be going. So keep in mind the two leads, which are Joaquin and Lady Gaga, together are going to cost them about 32 million, right? So that's half of the budget there. You could still probably achieve the same thing you got in the first movie for around 100 million, 80 to 100, right? So what the fuck are they doing in this movie for it to cost another 170 million to make?
Yep, I don't know. I mean,
keep in mind what made the Joker so successful originally, profitable, was it was so cheap. With 200 million, this movie has to clear like 400 to half a million or half a billion.
I mean, I'm just having a look. Like how much did La La Land cost to make? That filmed in California. Okay, 30 million.
Yeah,
and that movie's like pretty expanse in regards to what it does.
And it made almost 500 million, so it was a profitable,
very,
movie.
very, very profitable.
Yeah.
I don't know how your budget can be almost 7 times that, and I guess it's sort of the same, a male and a female lead, and that's pretty much it, and just a couple supporting characters.
I want to say this: the fact that they are throwing away movies like Batgirl and some of these other films, and they're like, oh, hey, write a blank check for Joker 2. It's so fucking weird to me.
My only hope is that it's misreported and 200 million is going to be plus the advertising, and they're going to do a very big advertising campaign. And
that's because there's probably going to be an album to go along with it. I'm sure Lady Gaga is going to put out music prior to the movie, most likely.
Yeah, so that's my only hope, because I don't understand logically how this could be 200 million.
Keep in mind, guys, 200 million, we're getting into like Avengers territory on money.
You're turning into like big set piece, ridiculous VFX. Like,
yeah.
things. So
Like,
unless they
to
start
put
kung fu
it in
fighting,
perspective, Deadpool movies don't even cost $200 million.
everybody was kung fu
No
fighting.
fucking clue. I don't even know. I don't even know. But let's talk about something. We got. How much more do we have? This is our last DC news, I guess, for the stream, and then we're gonna move to some Marvel stuff. But Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom ends its theatrical run, earning 433, basically 433 or 434 million globally, which is the highest grossing DC movie since 2018.
Which was the first Aquaman.
Yep.
It's not that bad considering everyone
Thoughts on
thought
this
this was going to
movie?
be the flop of the flops.
Yeah.
But it's also not that great considering the first
Look,
one made.
I feel like they're probably counting this as a W for them because the movie could have been a lot. Like they haven't had any. They haven't made any money really this year.
Yeah, much worse.
Yeah, this is interesting. Which,
I
by
did
the way,
see that it's actually, I think it's doing fairly well on digital, to be completely honest. As well, the 2 weeks since it's been out.
I wish we could get a version where we could see the original ending, the original third act, because I'd love to see what they originally.
Yeah, the third act was all over the joint. That wasn't a proper third act.
I heard in test screenings it didn't do well, but I'd love to see it just to find out what people.
But a lot of movies don't. I mean, we just mentioned La La Land. You know, La La Land tested poorly.
Oh yeah,
like a bunch of movies test poorly.
Yeah, they're a big shock. All right, so let's talk about some Marvel shill news today.
What's new with Eric? Not much.
So this one's new. This is the new one. So apparently, Avengers 5 will no longer be titled Kang Dynasty. Supposedly they're changing it according to the Hollywood Reporter.
I heard they're changing it to Law and Order.
Oh, are they? That makes sense. Makes total sense.
Joe West, Jesse Martin cameo.
So look, honestly, are you surprised by this at all? Or
no, not really. I guess does that mean they're moving away from Kang as a whole?
Well, there is a rumor they're going to recast Kang, but not use him as the main antagonist.
Like just have him as like a character.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the possible recasting here in a second. But, yeah, just what are your general thoughts on this?
I mean, I'm not shocked, but at the same time, I did think they would just recast and go with the flow. But then I did see something else where they like hired a new writer or some crap like that.
By the way, we are going to watch the Borderlands trailer. Somebody requested that. I just want to remind them that we're doing it because I haven't seen the whole thing yet. So we'll watch that before we wrap up. So the rumor is here that they're going to be replacing Jonathan Majors, and they have asked, here we go, Coleman Domingo to take over the role. Are you familiar with his work or no?
Yeah, I've seen him in a couple of things.
So it says he had a statement on this, and it says that my team has had conversation with Marvel about some aspect of the MCU for years. Do I know it to be true or not? I actually don't know. I could be in a conversation, but I'm not sure. I would welcome a conversation around it. That sounds to me like, yes, I am, but I can't say it. So that I do think they're talking to him. And I think he would be absolutely solid to replace Jonathan Majors. And look, if they're going to take Kang and make him more of a secondary villain and then make someone else the big threat, I think it'll make even more sense to just recast and not kill him off screen. You know what I mean? Because they could end up saying, oh, we had Dr. Doom came in and destroyed all the Kang variants. But I think they're going to at least try and, I don't know, make it work. I've said from the get-go, and I think you have as well, that I'm not totally tied to Jonathan Majors since Kang is a character that they could have other actors playing him. So having someone else come in and take the role is fine with me. I am not totally attached, I guess, to Jonathan Majors. But it does suck because I think they were going to really build the story up over several movies, and it looks like that's not going to be the case anymore. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. I'm going to keep an eye on this one to see where it goes and if it's going to be anything big. What do you think? Do you think we'll see Kang again in like a movie, or do you think it'll be just when we get to that point, he'll come back in and like be there with someone else. Like
Yeah,
another
and
hero.
they'll make sure like he's got like the blue face going on and everything like that, the blue helmet or whatever it is. So you can tell
Fetman.
it's Kang. Yeah.
Somehow every King variant died while watching Madam Web. Yeah, but they also don't have actors that get convicted of crimes every single day. So also we live in a world now with the MCU where variants are very common. How many different Lokis were there that weren't Tom? There's so many of them. So I think the idea that a character who does travel the multiverse, who literally has variants of himself everywhere, having another actor play him, I don't see an issue with that. Anyway. So Laura says, didn't the first Joker movie make $1 billion at the box office? Yeah, but that was off of like a $60 million budget. When you start getting into 200 million territory plus advertising, you have to clear a certain amount. Like they would have to go, hey, this movie is so popular, it will make more than the first movie.
It was also a water cooler movie. Like it was like that thing, if you didn't see it, like you couldn't be a part of the conversation because everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
So
I don't think part 2 is going to do that though.
I don't think it trailer will tell us. I don't know when they're going to release the trailer. Probably not for a bit, but yeah.
All right, so we are going to watch let me expand that out, the Borderlands trailer, chat about this for a moment, and then we'll probably wrap everything up. Paigey, did you ever play Borderlands at all?
I played the first 2. I didn't play number 3. I know that.
So you're familiar with like the core characters, right?
Like all the different classes that they've turned into the characters and stuff. Okay. All the characters where they just chose the class and stuff.
There seems to be a lot of controversy around this trailer because of the age of some of the actors compared to the characters from the game. So I don't know about all that. I'm not too concerned. I only played the first one. And I've heard that Borderlands 3 is really good, but I haven't played it. So let's watch the trailer, see what I think of it, coming from like a normie, a casual here that isn't like a hardcore fan of Borderlands. Let's see what we got here.
Destiny awaits.
Who directed this movie? I'm just curious.
Eli Roth, I'm pretty sure.
Is it? It's giving me like Guardians of the Galaxy vibes right now. Like it seems like it's trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy, which is weird, but let me see. Let's see. Yeah, it is Eli Roth. Interesting. It's giving me very Guardians, but let's continue. What'd you say? What was that?
I don't know if flexing Venom there was the way to go, but anyway.
Well, it's Avi Arad or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Avi Arad, whatever his name is.
Yeah. No, it's giving me Guardians. All I see here is like Guardians of the Galaxy. Are you getting the same vibe? That's what I'm feeling watching this.
To me, it's more like Suicide Squad.
Well, okay, a James Gunn.
More vulgar.
It's giving me the vibe of James Gunn. Like we're seeing like rock and roll music, like very funny moments with them, dirty, crass humor. Like it's just giving me that vibe. But anyway, let's go on. See, I don't know. It's definitely giving me Guardians of the Galaxy. I know you said Suicide Squad. Maybe the humor is, but that trailer is very Guardians of the Galaxy to me. I don't know why. It feels like James Gunn has created this vibe for space movies where this is the way they're going to look and this is the way they're going to sound. I don't know. That's what it gives me. I don't know. Chad, am I off?
I mean, it could just be the trailer company that they use to make the trailer. That's the way they want it to. Because, I mean, it looks like Borderlands to me. I mean, is that meant to be Handsome Jack as well?
Yes, I think
Borderlands. So. I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, I love Cate Blanchett. I loved her as Hela. She was my favorite part of that movie. I loved her in What If Season 2. So I will probably be seeing this just because she's in it, because I love her so much. But a lot of people said that that there's a lot of ageist conversation going on. Like that the people in the movie are too old to be playing these characters. So Defunct says I love Jamie Lee Curtis.
Wait, once again, the internet. I mean, who cares? I think they all look their part. I'll tell you what, that Ariana Greenblatt is in fucking everything.
Yeah.
I didn't realize she was in this.
Wait, there's more in
She's
this
in everything.
trailer? There we go.
I think there was like an.
You what? What are you saying?
I think there's like an end.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with this. I mean, I'll definitely see it. I don't know enough about the franchise to be too concerned about its fidelity, but I know some people will.
Yeah, I do think Kevin Hart doesn't fit Roland. I don't know why he's playing Roland. Terry Crews wouldn't have been bad, and also Roland's like not like funny. He's sort of like very straight faced. So you like, I mean, if the movie was made like 20 years ago, you'd cast someone like Denzel Washington or something, like someone that can just play it really straight.
Naruto says that they finished Avatar and it was great, so I guess it has a good, solid wrap up. I'll probably finish it tomorrow.
I don't. The age thing is weird to me. I don't care. And like I saw people saying that, like, yeah, like I mean, Kate Blanchett looks like the character, so I don't understand. And also, you don't know like the context of the story, like as well, like when it is exactly and everything like that. I think it's fine. I saw people even blowing up about Jack Black being Claptrap. I was like, oh, why didn't you get the original voice actor? It's so they can put Jack Black on the poster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's your answer. Like, hello, knock knock. Anyone there, Eric?
I mean, that's why a lot of the voice actors. I mean, why do you think they have Groot is a good example? Like,
yeah, I mean,
all
it literally could have been you or me. It could have been you or me. It's I'm Groot with the voice being distorted. Like, especially when you get like to the younger version, and everything like that. But I think they all fit. Like, even like Kevin Hart, he might pull it off, but like just from the outside looking in, he doesn't fit it. He's probably maybe the.
By the way, because that has a very popular old song in it, it's probably going to get blocked. So if you're not watching this on playback and the trailer was missing, you have to be a Team Airrick member to watch it. Yeah. So join up at any tier and it'll be available. If they block it, it'll be available.
That Ariana Greenblatt is now Tiny Tina, young Gamora, young Ahsoka Tano, was in Barbie, and she was in something else. She was in another movie.
Pretty soon she's going to be playing the older version of people instead of the younger version.
Well, that's a weird thing. You know how long ago this movie was filmed? 3 years ago. It finished filming 3 years ago. She was 13 when they made the movie. Now she's like 16 going on 17 or something. Like, it's crazy. But I think that might be concerning. I heard they did reshoots, but there might have been minor ones. Like, just
I think they probably with the right makeup and styling, they probably could have made it work or whatever. But
yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I played the first two. I think number 3 just came out when I wasn't at least playing story games.
So after seeing that trailer, my theory is they want it to look like Guardians. They want it to look like these other movies because they want casual audiences to go and watch this. So they want it to feel like a space adventure that everybody can kind of go see, which is another reason why they don't care about casting the voice actors from the game.
They want to cast people that go, oh, I know that person for that person.
Like, why is Kate Blanchett playing this character? Because it's Kate Blanchett.
Because people like Kate Blanchett and she, good actress and stuff.
I mean, look,
people like Jack Black.
People that I know will go see it the night of because she's in that movie. They will go see that movie. So Kate Blanchett is one of those actresses. We talk about like Hollywood and like people that have draws in movies. She's one of those actors that I think people will go see a movie if she's in it. Like, she's got a big, like a massive fan base. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, that is where we're going to wrap this up. So I want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out. We did have a lot of trailers to watch tonight. We'll see if we get some more next week or whatever. You join us for the after party on Saturday. We'll have some stuff to talk about then. And if anything in this is blocked for whatever reason, you can become a Team Airrick member, support the channel, and you will be able to watch this unedited as a Team Airrick member. So anything that's missing will be available for you there. So am I ever coming back to Twitch? I don't know. Twitch is having a lot of issues. Twitch is having a lot of problems. Their payouts are bad.
Well, you were also so the thing is, I think Eric might not want me telling the story, but fuck Eric, I'm going to tell it.
Oh no.
So Eric was planning on doing hot tub streams. Unfortunately, when he was testing it out, he twerked way too hard. The chaps, they split, and it pretty much like put a massive crack in the hot tub. No hot tub anymore.
That's what it was. Yeah. If I go back to Twitch, it'll be to play games, most likely. I really do feel like that's probably where I'll be. But we'll see. I don't know. You guys let me know if you're watching this video on playback and you want me to start doing Twitch streams again and you're going to come over and hang out with me over there. Leave a comment down below and say, hey, we'll watch you on Twitch. But leave it on the recording of this, not in the live chat. Leave it in the recording. Let me know if you want me to do that. We got Naruto here, member for 23 months. Thank you so much. Didn't realize that Ozai was Daniel Day Kim, the father from King Convenience was Iroh. Yeah. And so I didn't realize he was Ozai either. I don't think he got a lot of content to do that I can see so far in 6
Did you notice that the I guess like the grandfather of or his dad of Ozai was the guy from Arrow?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember his name.
He's been in a bunch of other shows as well. He was in iZombie as well. I can't remember the actor's name. He's obviously based in Vancouver. I heard Ryan Choi's in this show. I heard Osric Chow's in the show.
Okay, so yes, but I don't want to spoil it. He's in the show, but there's a that's kind of a spoilery thing, so you'd have to watch it to see.
Okay, I just heard that he was in there.
Let me see something. I'm trying to see what the actor's name was. Where's it at?
It's like Watanabe or something. I think his last name's like, is it Ken Watanabe?
Let me see.
Might think of someone else.
No, it's Hiro Kanagawa.
No, sorry, Ken Watanabe is the guy from Godzilla. I'm completely
yes, it's Hiro Kanagawa plays the Fire Lord Sozin.
What's his name?
Fire Lord Sozin.
No, the actor.
Oh, Hiro Kanagawa.
Kanagawa. Okay.
Yeah.
He's
so. Yeah, so I've seen some. Look, it can standing on its own, it's absolutely fine. Like if you were just watching it as a show, I think people would be it's okay, right? But comparing it to like a superior product, which is the cartoon, is where the problem comes in. Like trying to, like the quality isn't the same, obviously. So.
Oh, by the way, have you seen the Iron Claw?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Oh, okay. Now I'm gonna watch it tonight. I thought you might have seen it.
Wait, what are you watching it on?
What do you mean?
Is it on streaming?
No, I'm going to the movies to watch it.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it then. No. I was gonna say if it's streaming somewhere, I'll watch it. So.
Oh, probably. Don't A24 go to Netflix now or something? Didn't they sign a deal?
Mm-hmm.
Or something?
I think so. I won't be doing like a separate review, but I'll probably review it on a stream each week.
Will you do bun reactions?
What? Bun reaction? What is that?
Yeah, like bun.
I don't know what that is. Like a bun?
Like a bun.
I don't know what you even mean by that.
What do you mean? How do you not know what bun means?
I don't know what that means. So.
Oh, okay. Now you don't know what it means.
I have no idea. But I don't know if Paige is going to be watching it, so it might just be me talking about it myself.
What?
The X-Men 97. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that on DJ Erickson.
The only show that I will be reviewing as a separate review, as far as I know right now, is going to be Superman and Lois. That will be nostalgic. You guys will be getting like my regular like reviews of stuff when that comes back, because the final season and everything. So other than that, though, I'll probably talk about them on live streams and then clip them out later. I just think it's easier to do that. So anyway, thank you guys so much. And I will chat with everyone later. Have a good night. Goodbye.